Toyotomi Hideyoshi was born into a Japan where power was inherited and social rank was fixed at birth. In the 16th century, a peasant had no path to command armies, negotiate with nobles, or rule provinces. Society was rigid by design. Yet within a single lifetime, Hideyoshi would rise from obscurity to dominate the country, unifying Japan without ever claiming the title of shogun. His ascent did more than break tradition. It revealed how fragile that tradition truly was. Hideyoshi's rise unfolded during the Sengoku era, an age of near-constant civil war. Daimyo fought relentlessly for land and survival. Alliances shifted without warning. Castles rose and fell, and whole regions lived under permanent mobilization. In this environment, birth still mattered, but results mattered more. Chaos created rare openings for men who understood how power actually worked and who could deliver victories others only promised. Hideyoshi entered history as a low-ranking servant in the service of Oda Nobunaga, one of the most aggressive and unconventional warlords of the time. He was not valued for noble blood or a famous sword. What made him indispensable was his ability to solve problems others ignored. He organized logistics, supervised construction, negotiated surrenders, and stabilized newly conquered territories. These tasks rarely earned glory, but they won wars. Armies did not fail only on the battlefield. They failed from hunger, confusion, and mismanagement. Hideyoshi learned early that controlling outcomes mattered more than winning duels. More importantly, Hideyoshi mastered people. He understood fear, ambition, pride, and resentment, and he spoke to each in the language it understood. Where others demanded obedience, he offered incentives. Where resistance was inevitable, he applied force quickly and decisively. Step by step, he earned Nobunaga's trust and moved closer to the center of power, proving that competence could outweigh pedigree when instability rewrote the rules. Everything changed in 1582. Oda Nobunaga was betrayed and killed at Hanaji in Kyoto, shattering the balance holding Japan together. Powerful generals rushed to seize territory and authority. Hideyoshi responded faster than anyone expected. He abandoned an active campaign, marched rapidly, and defeated the traitor's forces at the Battle of Yamazaki. The victory was decisive, but its true importance was psychological. Hideyoshi framed himself as the avenger of Nobunaga, the man who acted while others hesitated. In Sengoku Japan, speed created legitimacy. Momentum followed. Rivals were isolated, defeated, or absorbed. Within a few years, Hideyoshi emerged as the dominant authority in Japan. Yet he faced a dilemma no battlefield victory could solve. He had power, but not lineage. The title of shogun required noble ancestry tied to ancient clans, and Hideyoshi lacked it. Instead of challenging the system directly, he bypassed it. He secured imperial court titles that granted authority without the shogunate. His rule exposed a fundamental truth of politics. Titles mattered less than obedience, and obedience could be engineered. Hideyoshi unified Japan through a calculated balance of fear and reward. Some rivals were crushed swiftly, creating examples that discouraged resistance elsewhere. Others were spared and rewarded with land, making rebellion irrational. Hideyoshi understood that peace was not achieved by winning a single decisive battle. Peace required dismantling the incentives for constant war, then replacing them with incentives for compliance. He redistributed land to weaken threats and reward loyalty. He regulated castle construction and limited independent military expansion. Daimyo were bound to the center through obligations, hostages, and controlled mobility. Hideyoshi did not expect warlords to become peaceful. He made war expensive, risky, and difficult to organize. When conflict did erupt, he moved fast, punished public defiance, and rewarded quiet submission. One of his most famous domestic reforms was the sword hunt. Weapons were confiscated from peasants, officially to prevent uprisings. The deeper effect was social. It hardened the division between warrior and farmer, ensuring that organized violence belonged exclusively to the ruling class. Hideyoshi also ordered detailed land surveys, fixing taxes and obligations with precision. These measures strengthened central authority and reduced the ability of local powers to hide resources or raise armies in secret. Administrators, registers, and measurements became tools as powerful as spears. Osaka became the administrative heart of Hideyoshi's Japan. Osaka Castle was not merely defensive, it was symbolic. Its immense scale projected certainty in a country long defined by uncertainty. Power that could be seen felt permanent. When authority appeared permanent, resistance became less attractive. Hideyoshi also used ceremony, art, and spectacle to reinforce the idea that a unified Japan was not an experiment, but a new reality. Despite his success, Hideyoshi's rule carried a fatal weakness. It depended heavily on his personal authority. There was no durable institution capable of surviving him. As he aged, succession became an obsession. When his son Toyotomi Hideyoshi was born, Hideyoshi grew increasingly suspicious of potential rivals. In late Sengoku Japan, a rival did not need to rebel to be dangerous. Existing was enough, and influential men could become threats even when silent. This insecurity shaped his final years. Domestically, Japan was unified. Externally, Hideyoshi launched invasions of Korea, beginning in 1592. The campaigns were brutal, expensive, and strategically inconclusive. They drained resources and cost countless lives. Some historians see them as unchecked ambition. Others argue they were an attempt to keep the warrior class occupied abroad, preventing ambitious daimyo from turning their armies inward. Either way, the wars revealed the limits of power built on personal dominance and showed how quickly unity could be tested. Hideyoshi died in 1598, leaving behind a child heir and a fragile political arrangement. A council of powerful lords was meant to govern until Hideyori came of age. In reality, it postponed conflict rather than preventing it. Without Hideyoshi's presence, the balance collapsed. Alliances fractured, ambition resurfaced. Tokugawa Ieyasu, the most patient survivor of the era, expanded influence through alliances, marriages, and careful positioning, while opponents rallied to stop him. Within 2 years, Japan descended into the confrontation that culminated at Sekigahara in 1600. Tokugawa Ieyasu emerged victorious and was appointed shogun in 1603. The Toyotomi power base endured briefly in Osaka, but it was eliminated in the sieges of 1614 and 1615. On the surface, Hideyoshi's line vanished and his project seemed to fail. But the deeper truth is that Hideyoshi reshaped Japan's structure. Beyond warfare and administration, Hideyoshi reshaped daily life through culture and ritual. He patronized tea masters, standardized ceremonies, and used controlled spectacle to bind elites into shared norms. By rewarding refinement alongside loyalty, he converted former rivals into courtiers invested in stability. These softer instruments of power reduced the need for constant coercion and taught a fractured elite to perform unity. In doing so, Hideyoshi turned governance into habit, not emergency, making peace feel normal rather than imposed. He demonstrated that unity required systems, not only victories. The Tokugawa regime borrowed heavily from his methods: land control, social separation, surveillance, and the management of daimyo through obligation. Hideyoshi ruled without a crown, yet the Japan he shaped endured long after his bloodline disappeared. His story remains one of the most extraordinary reversals in Japanese history. A reminder that in moments of chaos, the rules of society can bend, and sometimes break completely.